everyone, welcome to the Jazz community. So if you're new, welcome. My name is Jasmine and I would love for you to make it official and say Jazz to subscribing and join this amazing community. Once again, thank you all for 125 subscribers. You guys are absolutely amazing. And let's go ahead and talk about Postmates. Is Postmates something for you? Is Postmates something that will really be a blessing to your life or not? Let's find out. Alright, so I am very excited to be working on this new series. Yes, you heard it right. It is going to be a series. And right now, I only have 3 videos planned for this series, but that is where you come in. Yes, you are the one that's going to help me elongate this series. I need your help to continue on with this series. Let me know any questions you have so I can go ahead and plan accordingly to add to this series. But today it is part 1 and it is all about should I do Postmates. Now I do have my notes here like always because there's a lot to talk about. I do want to say that even though I do say Postmates, I basically just mean any general food delivering services, but the reason why I say Postmates is because I personally have worked with Postmates. I almost forgot, but I did film a day in a life as a post grad, and I'm gonna put it right over here and in the description box below. And during that vlog, I basically take you guys to a delivery that I do for Postmates, so just check it out so maybe you can get a little bit clip on how it is for me. But we're going to cover 4 things to keep in mind to figure out if Postmates is for you. Number 1, you need to know what your expenses will be so you can actually make profit. Now there are 2 things to keep in mind here, and these 2 things can be expensive, but you need these to do your job, and that is number 1, your car, and number 2, your phone. The major expense you're going to have here is number 1, gas, and number 2, time. It takes time to do the deliveries and you're using up your gas as well. So you want to make sure that your expenses are not super high so you can actually make a profit, because that's the whole point of working, right? If you have a car that takes like $80 to fill up the tank, don't even think about doing Postmates or delivery services, because it's not gonna pay out for you. In my case, my car, I can fill up its gas tank just with $25. Very reasonable price. So my car, thankfully, is good to go. And also it doesn't use up the gas like crazy, so keep that in mind. Another thing that I want to briefly talk about, I don't want to get that deep into it, but for those who do not know, if you are doing food delivery services for like Postmates, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, I believe there's like a lot of them out there, but if you are doing it, you need to understand that you are considered an individual contractor. As an individual contractor, you do need to keep in mind about taxes with that. For example, I believe in my state, if I make $6,000 in Postmates for that year, I am supposed to put it in my taxes. But if I make less than $6,000, I don't have to do taxes for what I made. Keep in mind, do your own research. Don't take my word for it. I'm not sure if it's 6,000. I'm just not sure. Do your own research. But that is a quick example. Another thing that I do want to say though is that because you are using your car, you can write off a lot of things. For example, you can write off mileage, you can write off any car expenses like fixing your tires or other expenses. You can write them off. Like I said, I'm not a professional in this, so just do your own research, but there's a lot of things that you can write off, and that's one of the perks of being an individual contractor. Now the second thing that you want to consider is this: will your lifestyle be able to fit Postmates? Okay, let me get into this. So a question that I have for you is, will you have the energy to actually make some deliveries? Now, doing Postmates isn't just for everyone. Obviously, you need to have like a certain lifestyle where you are motivated to actually work and make food deliveries. One thing I do want to make really clear about working for Postmates is the flexibility when it comes to this. The flexibility you have with Postmates is like the golden ticket that drives so many people in, and it drives specific people. For example, students, and parents, I want you to go ahead and reflect in your lifestyle right now. Are you able to do some deliveries, or is it just something you were curious about but you know it can't really fit your schedule anymore? Just think about that. Another thing too is parents. I know a lot of parents who are maybe stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad. Postmates would be great because, like I said, flexibility is the golden ticket with this job. I actually started Postmates as a senior at university. The part-time job that I had, it had a roof which was only 20 hours max, and I would work all the 20 hours, but I still wanted to make some more money. So that's really what motivated me to go into Postmates. Now, the third thing you want to keep in mind is how much influence will Postmates have on you, because let me tell you, you will have a lot of influence in this job. What do I mean by this? Well, you need to go ahead and decide in 4 things, which I'm gonna go through real quick. But before I do, I want you to keep in mind that you're basically your own boss. Like I said, you are an individual contractor and you get to make your own schedule. But you need to realize, how much influence do I want Postmates to have in my life? And that's where 4 things come in. Number 1, do you want it to be a side hustle? Or do you want to work part-time, full-time, or do you want it to be a seasonal thing? Okay, so side hustle is great for students, maybe parents, stay-at-home parents. Another one is seasonal, which this is very interesting because I actually did this. I did this as a side hustle and seasonal. I haven't done it as part-time or full-time yet. So the last semester of my senior year was hectic. I was trying to get a job because I was gonna lose my student worker position. And I was trying to get finals. I was trying to write an original song and get it composed and everything, which is a song I wrote for my graduation party. So I was just very, very busy. So I put Postmates to the side. But once I graduated, I was okay, during summer, I'm going to go all in. You can say that it's seasonal, right? I'm only working there during the summer. And that's maybe something you want to do, especially right now during the pandemic. Like, Postmates has been amazing to work during these times because the gas price went down and a lot of people are not going in public, so they are ordering food. And one thing people always want to do is eat. We all need to eat, right? So it is great right now for that industry. It is great to work right now. But like I was saying, maybe right now you're like, well, maybe I'll just do Postmates just during the summer. Maybe I'll do it just during the pandemic, or while I am looking for another job, I'll do it. And that is okay. That is completely okay. Just keep in mind, if you want to do Postmates, how that's gonna look like for you. Now, moving on to the last thing, I hope this video isn't long, but there's just a lot of things for me to say here, is that you need to be okay with working in the customer service industry. You need to be okay with that. And I know some people don't for whatever reason, but if you are thinking about doing Postmates, you need to be okay with working in a customer service industry, because keep in mind, you are delivering their products to them, which is basically food, right? You're delivering, you're doing that service for them. When it comes to working for customer service industries, there are 3 things you have to be good at, especially for this job. Number 1 is communicating. You need to be really, really good with communicating with your client. If your client maybe wants a food that is currently not available in that store, you want to make sure you know how to call, how to text, you have that communication with them. Now, the second thing you want to be good at is problem solving. You might have some problems that might come up with delivering the food. For example, you are just lost. The GPS doesn't take you exactly to their home, and it can get a little bit complicated, but you need to make sure that you have good problem solving skills, and that does wrap up with communication. You need to know how to call them, tell them, hey, you know, I'm lost, and just have that good communication with them. Another thing too for this specific job is that you need to be a good driver. You need to really prioritize driving well and have good driving habits, because you are driving during this job. The reason why I'm telling you that you should be okay and open to being your best at customer service is because of the tips. This is very, very huge, and this is where I make most of my profit, is from tips. However, I do not want to get that deep into it, because that's going to be another video for this series where I'm going to talk to you about how I do my customer service and how to make a lot of tips, because baby, that is what has kept me doing it, those tips. but they just don't tip anyone. You need to provide great customer service, and I have a lot of tricks under my sleeves. Every time I do a delivery, I always get a tip. And if you are someone who orders from Postmates or orders from a lot of online delivery services, please tip your drivers, please, because we do not get paid a lot just on the app itself. We depend a lot in tips as well. But that is it for this video. I hope this video really helps you decide whether Postmates is for you. Please comment down below any questions you have so I can further expand this series. And with that being said, remember guys to keep on jazzing and stay in touch. Adios.